The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Oh, look at this. Look at this! He got it! Ready for a spare!
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Washington Toyota Dodge Nissan. Looks good.
Looks good! That's good to go! It's a
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody. So glad you could join us. A very special edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. It's our last series championship of the season. We're here at Park Place Lanes here in Windham, New Hampshire. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. This is last call for the bowlers. Last chance to get into the Tournament of Champions, and only two guys with a chance now.
That's right. And either one of them, like I said last week, is a welcome addition to the Tournament of Champions. But a lot on the line today. Not only the big prize winnings at the end of this show, but we have to watch the score, qualification into the Tournament of Champions, and where they're going to be seated. So a lot riding.
All right, let's get right to it, shall we? Let's meet our two bowlers. First of all, our number 2 seed after a win last week from Plastow, New Hampshire, Gary Carrington.
Okay, Gary averaging 130, high single of 195, roll-off score was 677.
And last week, in case you missed it, in the semifinals, Gary rolled a 392 to knock off Bob Caleri. And that puts him into the finals today. And, of course, as Dan said, cash on the line today, as well as getting into the Tournament of Champions. Bonus money as well. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Our top seed in this series hasn't been with us for quite some time, but he's been here a lot over the years. From Acton, Massachusetts, Jack Ray.
Okay, and Jack averaging 127, has a high single of 220. And his roll-off score, the highest roll-off score in the tournament, 690.
$500 to the runner-up today, $1,000 to the winner, and of course, perhaps more importantly to the winner, the spot in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, which begins next week, next Sunday at 12 noon here on the Winds of New England. We've got 3 games of Candlepin bowling coming up. It should be a great one. Gary Carrington and Jack Ray. We'll get it started after we have these words. Don't go away. 5 games in the final roll-off. 13 pins separated these two guys. Gary Carrington came in second with a 677. Jack Ray up on the top of the list with a 690. And so after Gary's win in the semifinals last week, we're set to go. The stage is ready, and Gary Carrington will begin our championship match with the winner to move into the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Gary looking for his second tournament appearance. He was in it back in 1991. Jack Ray has never been in the Tournament of Champions before. And to say that these two guys know each other's games very well would be an understatement. They have bowled in an awful lot of team competitions together. Had a lot of success as part of a powerhouse team that has won the World Championships 5 times, last time in 1992. Gary and Jack both on that team. Also members of that team from time to time. Peter Flynn, Bob Kelly, Joe.
Oh, what a shot.
Great spare for Gary there. Peter Flynn, Bob Kelly, Joe Ashline, Dave Richards, and Don Riley and John Miller have all been on that team at one time or another. That's a pretty good group right there. And a fine spare for Gary Carrington. And now here is Jack Ray.
Well, get it out of the way early, as we say. Spread eagle on the first ball.
Nine box for Jack. quite some time since Jack Ray has been here in singles competition. Have to go all the way back to January of 1991, in fact. But Jack was telling me he's been busy. His wife built a house and had another baby in the last year or so and cut back a little bit. But as Gary Carrington did, Jack Ray makes a fine spare in box number 2.
There you see the replay of that fine spare. Yeah. First up on the spare, Gary Carrington.
It's been so long since Jack's been here. I said Acton earlier, but Jack lives in Maynard now, Maynard, Massachusetts. Nothing happening there for Gary. Trying to fly something over. And he'll take the 9. It's early, but if you're thinking ahead for scores, remember, we'll take a look at these scores a little bit later on in the hour. The top qualifier right now for the Tournament of Champions is Paul Berger with a 454. Remember, the 3-game totals today help determine the seedings. The winning bowler today will move into the tournament and be seeded according to his 3-game total today. Spare for Gary in the 4th. 454 for Paul Berger. He's in the top spot right now. 344 for John Plant. He sits 5th right now.
Five on the spare for Jack.
Nine. All even after 3. Talking about John Plant, he was one of the first 2 guys to qualify, and with that 344, I remember we said to him at the time, well, the score might not be what you wanted, but you're in.
You're in.
He's watched several other qualifiers go by him in terms of score, but John is still in the field, and he will be on next week. The question is, who will he be bowling?
As Jack left the back row, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Couple pieces of wood. Let's see what happens.
Oh, yes.
He's got a shot.
Spares in the 2nd and 4th for both Gary and Jack. The match all even.
Just enough to nudge the 7-pin. And we're dead even. The fills will determine who takes the lead.
Big first ball for Gary Carrington on his spare. He'll take 8.
8 and 9 pins left. 3 pieces of playable wood on the plate next to the 9.
And how did it miss? Right around it. Gary will settle for the 10.
61 at the halfway point. Let's see what happens to the wood. So close.
So we do know that next Sunday, when the Tournament of Champions begins, John Plant will be here for that first match. He will be bowling either Jack Quinn or possibly one of these 2 guys,
right,
depending on the final score today. And the spare for Gary as he keeps the pattern going. These 2 guys are a perfect 5 for 5 for spares on lane 31. Nobody's been able to mark on lane 32 yet. We emptied out our big barrel after the winner of our bonus ball contest last week, so if you've sent a postcard recently, you'll be in there. There's the first mark on lane 32. It's a strike for Jack Ray, and he takes the lead.
All you have to do is mention it, Doug. You see ball twisting and turning from right to left. Everything but the 5, and then finally the 5 goes.
The kick out on the 4 and 7 for the 8 drop. $25 ball here for Jack Ray, looking for his 3rd mark in a row. And too fine. Too fine on the 3-pin. $10 it is.
So it's Jack who takes 11-pin advantage. But Gary Carrington, who cut into that, obviously, with this first ball on the spare.
Catches a little bit of the head pin to get 7. Gary now looking for his first mark on lane 32. He's got it. 2 spares in a row, and now Gary will have an opportunity at bonus money. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire on Main Street. Route 97, providing bonus money for the bowlers this season on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. $25 for 3 marks in a row, $250 for 3 strikes in a row, and Gary wants that wood to stay in the middle. Give him a shot here at this one. $25 in bonus money for Gary Carrington.
And a well-earned $25 at that, with a 4-7, 6-10 piece of wood. Ball takes the 6 and the 10. The wood takes the 4-7.
Jack Ray in the pocket, collapses the right side. He'll shoot at the 4-pin for a spare. Wood getting dangerously close to blocking the way.
Yeah, it still is in a rough spot because Jack turns the ball over. No,
yes, gets by. Jack and his wife, Kelly, have 2 children now, 5-year-old Jessica and the newborn 10-month-old Mitchell. They live in Maynard, Mass., as I mentioned. Jack works as a sales rep for Marjam Supply. And he'll take 8 on the spare.
Had to fight with that 6-pin to go down, give himself the shot at the spare in the 5-8.
No. Chops the 5-pin right off the 8. And it'll be $9. So Gary Carrington takes the lead for the first time in the match. Perhaps with this spare fill. He does with 7. 2, 4, and 6, though.
Well, he made this earlier without this benefit of the wood. Let's see if he can do it again. This time conventional way.
Great shot. That's $25 more and worth at least that much.
That's right. Splits the 2 and the 4. 2 goes right into the 6-pin.
$50 in bonus money now for Gary. Looking for more here on lane 31. Uh-oh. Well, that wood may set something up here.
I'd probably like to have the wood there than not have it.
Yeah.
But he wanted a little more on the spare.
Well, let's see. He needs a little back action. Not happening. Good effort, though. And the 10, a 135 for Gary Carrington for his opening game.
Well, Jack will need at least 1 mark to catch Gary in this first game.
Right in the pocket. What a beautiful hit that was, and somehow the 5-pin is still hanging around. Jack's ball comes into the pocket at a pretty good angle when he's got it working. So if he hits the pocket at the right spot, he can get a lot of mixing action. Spare in the 9th. That time he came up full. 6 fill.
If he's able to work this out for a 10, would it be exactly even, 135 apiece?
Nope, he's hoping to pinch that piece of wood and didn't quite hit it. So these 2 pins for a tie match. And he's got it. 135 apiece. 2 games left to decide this thing here on Stars and Strikes. Gary Carrington and Jack Ray. Don't go away. And here's Jack Ray for game 2. All even after game 1. And again, still early, but looking at those scores, 135. Each guy with a shot at a possible 400 here. If nothing else, I would say that John Plant's 344 is probably going to end up 6th.
Yes, I would say so.
And I think John probably expected that. But he won a very tight match in that match back in November by just 3 pins. Over Paul Berger, by the way.
That's right.
Who later came back to qualify anyway.
But he's guaranteed himself another paycheck. How big it's going to be, it depends on how many matches he can win. Nice try with Jack Ray on that spare.
And 9 for 18. The wood there just tapped and goes in front of the 7-pin instead of sneaking over into the corner. Gary Carrington. Off the head pin, but all things considered, he'll probably take a shot with this.
4 horsemen left plus a 9-10, but he's got a nice piece of wood behind the 1 and the 2. Actually, 2 pieces.
10-pin may be the problem, if anything. Let's see. Oh, no, that went easily. Fine shot for Gary Carrington. Starts this 2nd game with a spare. That's his 7th mark, all of them spares. There's only been 1 strike in the match so far. That'll change. 6 for Gary on the fill. And he has another possible shot here. This one, the 1, 3, 6, and 7. Just slipping by the head pin, though. $9.
25, and now a 7-pin advantage after these 2 frames in the 2nd game. Advantage Gary Carrington.
Well, the wood is not favorable. It's the 3, 5, and 7. And it's 8. Well, another 3-pin leave, this time the 1, 2, and 10. with some wood. Yes, fine shot.
He takes advantage of that break. Marking the 4th.
6 marks for Jack Ray, 5 spares and a strike. Well, let's see what Gary can do with this one. Signaling for the wood. He'd like it to stay right about where it is, so he can hit the wood and the 2-pin. He does, and gives it a ride, but not enough for the 10. 10 box instead.
Okay, gives him 35 through 3 and a 9-pin advantage. Now he's got to try to match the spare put up by Jack in the 4th.
And yes, for the spare of the 4th, and that will take us to a break. 2 fine shots and a terrific match going as each bowler puts up a spare in the 4th. Very tight match, as we suspected. We'll be back with more of Championship Week in a minute. This is Jack Ray. This is the championship match on Candlepin Stars and Strikes, our last regular season match of the year. Next week we begin the Tournament of Champions. 9 on the spare for Jack. Lots to talk about here in the next several weeks here on the Winds. This coming Saturday, April 22nd, will be our last regular season skins match of the year. Well, next Sunday, of course, we begin the Tournament of Champions. A week from Saturday at 12 noon, April the 29th, we rerun that great match from Christmas Day, Paul Berger and Glenn Shattuck. And then starting the following Saturday at 12 noon, May the 6th, and running for 4 weeks, we will have the semis and finals of the women's and men's New Hampshire State Candlepin Bowling All Events Championship. And that was a $25 miss for Jack Ray.
Gave it a good bid, 2, 4, and 6.
He'll take the 10. Best way to remember everything is just plan to be with us every Saturday and Sunday
That's
at
right.
12 noon for the next 5-6 weeks, because we're going to have a lot of great stuff, I guarantee you.
These guys matching each other or what? Gary gets a 9 on his spare as well, leaves a 7.
That would not a concern. Gary takes the single easily. Make it 9 spares for Gary, and he's got 2 in a row, so a chance for bonus money here. He's got $50 already. In the pocket. Ooh. Thought he might have his first strike there.
6 and 9 pins left for $25 in bonus money if he can knock these 2 down with this ball.
Yes. Right between the pins. No way to miss it if you're there. $25 more for Gary. And how about it? Yes, Jack Ray with the strike.
Time he trips the 5-pin. Last time on lane 32, he had a solid 9-pin drop, left that 5-pin. Nothing even came close to knocking it down. This time from behind. There's the 9 and the wood from behind on the 5-pin.
Jack ready to work on lane 31. One break. Not two. 1-2-10. Nope. We'll settle for a 9 fill on the strike. And a 9 it is. 100 through 8. Gary Carrington working on his 3rd spare in a row.
Bonus streak still alive if you were to put another one up there.
Well, let's see. The 3, 7 and 10.
Oh, he's going to go right at the 3-pin, I'm sure. Got a good angle on the wood behind it for the 10. He's thinking about possibly playing a double piece of wood to the left. I think you got to take a piece of the 3-pin.
He was probably looking to see if all of that wood was frozen together. It looked like it was, and he's able to play it perfectly for the spare. $25 more.
Here you see the replay. He's earning the $25 though.
Yeah, that's right.
Easy shots out there.
He's got $100 in bonus money total right now. Working on a streak of 4 in a row. A little off target, but not too bad. We'll take 7 more. Of course, in addition to picking up bonus money, he's also adding to the lead. It's 15 pins right now. Looking for another one. Yes! 25 more. Gary Carrington has 12 spares in his 18 boxes right now. He has yet to throw a strike, but he'll take things just as they are if he keeps throwing spares. Jack Ray working to try and put a mark up here in the 9th to give him something to set up the 10th.
Yeah, he's got the 5 and the 8. Piece of wood there, so try to drive the ball right straight through.
Yes. So don't hurt him. Just knock him over. Just enough. Jack has 9 marks of his own, but he does not have any bonus money yet.
Oh, that wood was coming across, but second piece deflected it away from the 4 and 7. He gets a 7-pin drop on the spare. However, not an easy spare to convert here on the 4, 7, and 10.
Let's see if it turns enough. No. Needed a little more of an angle on that wood. That'll be a 9 and a 126 for a 2-game total of 261 for Jack Ray. That will not be enough to have the lead here at the end of 2. Gary Carrington already at 116 plus a ball. Looking for his 6th straight mark, and he'll have a shot at it. Another 7 drop. The triangle, 2, 4, and 5. Yep. That's $150 in bonus money now for Gary total. He's got $100 in this stretch. 6 marks in a row. A little high that time. Well, he's made this shot already.
I'd be a bit surprised if he makes it again. It's already at 140 through 9. He's not a little heavy. Whoa, it's coming out. He's going to get it.
You gave up on it, Dan. 7 spares in a row and $25 more in bonus money. He's up to $175 now.
When you Things are going right. Things are going right. If there wasn't a piece of wood in the channel, that never would have gone. Oh, look at this. So
that close to his first strike, which would have been another $25. Instead, it's a 9. 159 for Gary Carrington, and he will have a 33-pin lead going into the third and final game. Gary Carrington picking up where he left off early in last week's match. We'll be right back with Game 3 in a minute. Those are the 5 guys who've already made it to the Tournament of Champions. Paul Berger, as usual. Paul Berger Invitational, you know. Chris Sargent, 421. Tom Morgan and Jack Quinn with the 397s. John Plant with the 344. And the winner of this one. 1 game to go. Gary Carrington set to bowl on lane 32. And, well, Gary's sitting right now at 294. Of course, he still has to worry about winning the match. He does have a 33-pin lead, but figure that whether Gary hangs on to win it or if Jack were to come back and win it, you got to figure it's going to be a 400 of some kind. So I would say the winner of this match is guaranteed to finish no worse than 3rd in the seeding, barring a major surprise. Oh, great 10. That's a terrific 10. Worth another look.
There it is. Gary Carrington could go 1 pin more this string than he just finished with. 160, he would tie Paul Berger.
That's right. And then we'd have to go to the tiebreaker.
That's right.
I'm glad you asked. Spare for Gary Carrington. Paul Berger's high game was 175.
Well,
so he would win.
Take more than 160, then, isn't it?
He would win the tiebreaker should there be one. Well, that's a long way down the road. Gary with his 15th mark, and Jack needs to put him up in a hurry. Starts off with the spare in the first.
And don't you think that Jack hasn't got a 160, 170 in his bag of tricks either?
That's right.
He's been known to throw some big games.
In the pocket, 6.
A little light. Leaves himself to 2, 4, 5, and 7. No wood. Gotta hurry. A little bit behind himself. You can see that, and the ball never finished for him. .26.
Gary Carrington with an 8 fill on his mark.
Directing traffic. Looks like he's got the angle on this one, though.
Oh, yes. 2 in a row. Chance for more bonus money.
Here you see the replay. Very nicely done off the wood.
Off target that time, pulling it to the left, but he grabs a couple of extra pins. Takes 6, and this will be a bonus money ball here on the 1, 7, 8, and 10 with wood. Oh, not quite. Well, this is a major event. Gary has an open box. This is the 24th box that Gary has rolled. He's had 16 marks already.
It's pretty tough when you're 30 pins down and bowler's doing that, trying to get back in the match. It doesn't leave you much room to do anything.
Gary waiting out this wood here. And covers for the 10. Gary's lead, as you saw, at 35, plus he has that markup in the third. Well, Jack will have a spare leave here. 6-10, double wood.
You can't expect Jack to fold up shop here. There's a long ways to go, and he's not the one that's going to give up very easily, as long as there's mathematically a chance. But he's going to have to start thinking strikes.
Oh, wow. Boy, I thought he might have a strike on that ball. Then it looked for a moment like he'd have the 6-7.
This for 2 in a row. Possible bonus money set up.
He's got it. Well, we will go to a break here, and I'll tell you something. These two guys know each other's games very well, as I said earlier, and they are both among the elite in the game. Don't go away. Jack Ray still trails, but we will come back for the finish here on Stars and Strikes. Gary Carrington with the practice slide. 6 boxes to go. Four horsemen left.
Pretty quiet here right now.
Not quite. Isn't it amazing how when they're, oh, watch out here, watch out. Watch out, watch out. If it falls on the wood, it may take them both. It's not going to go, though. When there are more people, it's more quiet. You ever notice that?
Why is that?
I don't know. $10 for Gary.
I tell you, the lead is 32. Jack gets up and throws a strike. It's 22 and counting. This will be a new ball game, just a couple boxes.
Gary tries the Brooklyn side this time. Well, he's made this shot a couple of times going the opposite way. This time he'll have the 3, 4, and 6. Let's see. Ooh, almost. First time in the match, Gary's gone three boxes in a row without marking. But I'll tell you what, Dan, he's bowled 26 boxes now. He's left 4 pins standing.
It's amazing.
Hasn't left a pin standing in 14 boxes. Mm-hmm. He's had a 10 or a spare in every other box. Still has the lead, Jack Ray, with time.
Important ball right here.
Yep. Oh, big one, kicking out the 5, giving himself a shot, not only at bonus money, but the more important thing, another mark. That wood still moving. I don't know if it's going to be an effect on the shot, other than to maybe guide Jack over to the corner. Oh, no, he missed it.
I think he thought he had it covered, too. Boy, a little bit farther left, he would have capped that wood and got it like that.
Yep. I think that's what he was counting on. So instead, it's just a 10 box. The lead is 23. Well, even with that miss, a mark here would be very critical for Jack.
Well, that would have been a big fill.
Yep.
8-pin drop. Now, what you don't want to do here is slide by the 6-pin.
Oh, my. 2 costly misses there. We tape Candlepin Stars and Strikes, as always, here at Park Place Lanes in Windham, New Hampshire, located on Route 28, just a few minutes off exit 3, Route 93. And if you come by here on your own for bowling or a little entertainment at Jonathan's at night or whatever it might be, you'll want to be sure and stop in for a meal at the Willow Tree North Restaurant, located right inside Park Place Lanes. Rodney Cronin and his fine staff providing great food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, great prices, great service. And do tell him that you heard about him here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Remember, it's where the crew eats. Gary looking for his 17th spare of the day. And there it is. If you're looking at total scores yet, of course, the match is far from over, but again, I'll repeat what I said earlier, the winning score here is certainly going to be over 400. The question is, will it be enough to catch Chris Sargent at 421? Paul Berger is out of reach and safely in as the #1 seed at 454.
And that was a 9 box. Correct that.
Jack Ray needs strikes, and he almost threw one.
Well, he went by the 10 pin. Dropped 8 and went by those 2 pins, and now just dropped 9 again.
Spare in the 7th. Spares aren't enough, though, for Jack.
And this is another important ball, though. He's 27 pins down. He can cut it to 17 with a strike. Actually, 16 with a strike. So he's opposite a 9 frame.
Oh, boy.
Not that he didn't get the strike. He only got 2 pins off the head pin, the 1 and the 9.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Actually, I made the comment, spares aren't enough. That's provided Gary Carrington still continues to mark, which he's done practically every time up there.
That really hurt. That fell there because he was on the head pin and only got 2. It's only a total of 21, and he loses in count, so now the lead is 25 with 2 boxes to go. Gary Carrington can just about lock him out with a mark.
Force him into a double strike situation at any rate. He only needs 15 pins for that in the 2 boxes. Oh, how about it? Almost. Another spectacular from Gary. 10. That puts him at 401 right now. If he were to put 20 pins here in the 10th, he would tie Chris Sargent at 421. He'll take a heck of a shot first.
What's the tiebreaker?
Should I look at it now or should I wait?
I have a funny feeling you should look at it because I got a feeling he's going to throw that strike. He hasn't had a strike, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Oh, boy.
And he doesn't have one now. So the 5 gives him a 122 and a 3-game total of 416. Now, let's do the math here real quickly. Jack Ray needs 50 pins to tie, so it is mathematically possible, but he's got a strike right here. Or he has to at least put a mark up here.
No, it would have to have been a strike, I believe. If he threw a spare and then followed it with a triple,
So that would have been 50 pins.
50,
right.
That's right, exactly. So needs this.
And it's not going to happen. Gary Carrington advances to the Tournament of Champions with a 416. Jack Ray's going to have a pretty good total on his own, but it's not going to be enough today. Gary Carrington with a 416. He had 18 marks, all of them spares, and he left 5 pins standing the whole match.
That's bowling.
He had 3 9 boxes and an 8. That was it. Everything else was 10 or spare. A 10 for Jack Ray to wrap it up, a 125 and a 3-game total of 386. And congratulations exchange between these two friends, and there is the final total. Gary Carrington advances to the Tournament of Champions, which starts next week. We will talk to both of these bowlers and set you up for the tournament after these words. The hand is for Jack Ray, our runner-up, and $500. I know that's not the check you wanted after all this time away, but certainly you've seen Gary bowl enough to know when he's on a roll, and he was kind of on one today.
Well, he always gets on a roll, especially when he bowls me, but I know he's going to hit 400, so I had to be somewhere around there to have a shot.
Good to see you back. Hope you come back to see us next season sometime soon.
Well, I'm going to try out, and I hope I'm back to see you guys.
Congratulations on the new baby, by the way.
Thank you. Hi, Mitchell.
Thanks, Jack. Congratulations. Jack Ray, our runner-up. Now, Gary Carrington. And Gary gave us a winner in the bonus ball contest last week, so we'll try and make it 2 in a row. You can never have too many sets of bowling balls. That's what I always say. No, maybe not. The pressure is mounting, and I think it's Gary has been overcome by the pressure, I think, now. It's just 3. And I know this will surprise you. It's not a match. The guess was 7. Mr. Aurel Plamondon, I hope I'm somewhere close on the pronunciation, Mr. Plamondon, from Pelham, New Hampshire. He'll receive a consolation gift for having his prize drawn. You got a number of checks coming. Here's the $1,000 check for first prize. Congratulations on that one. You got $175 in bonus money, and you'll be back in just a few weeks because you'll be the number 3 seed in the Tournament of Champions. Now, this was very interesting the way this happened today. Last week, you started with a double strike. Today you didn't have any strikes, but you really had the spare ball working.
The spare ball was really nice. I got some good breaks off the head pin. Took advantage of them with my spare ball. I was throwing a good second ball.
Was there any point in the third game when you had the lead up around 30 that you figured, well, this is safe, or you know better against Jack?
No, not at all. Jack was throwing a better ball than I was. He was getting 9s and 10s. It seemed like he missed one on this lane right here, 32. Couldn't have been by much. I didn't think he'd get through the hole. That was critical right there. I thought he bowled excellent. He bowled good. I got lucky.
Terrific work for both of you. A 416, that puts you in the 3rd spot. We will see you back here in a few weeks. Try and win some more money.
Right.
Excellent. Thanks, Gary. Congratulations. 2 wins in a row to make it into the Tournament of Champions, and here's what it'll look like when we start next Sunday here on Candlepin, Stars and Strikes for the 1995 Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Gary Carrington slides into that number 3 spot. That means next week's kickoff match, the first of 5 weeks, will be John Plant against Jack Quinn, and then we will move on up the ladder to crown our 1995 champion. A pretty strong field ahead starting next week.
Absolutely. If you asked me to pick one, I couldn't do it. It's you're going to have to watch and see, like the rest of us.
All right. Next Saturday, we will have Candlepin Skins at 12 noon from the Londonderry Bowling Center. Next Sunday, the first week of the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions here from Park Place Lanes. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a great week, everybody.